All right, introducing my audience. We got Amber, Shorty, and Joey. And tonight I'll be doing my persuasive speech. My name is Mike, and I operate a foundation called the Heavy Breathing Foundation, and we're active here in North County, San Diego. When we started, we were primarily working with adults, but then we were given an opportunity to work with the youth. And after a training day with them, I should say that we are a program that uses the barbell to teach some important principles: honesty, open-mindedness, willingness, consistency, and patience. But like I said, we started working with adults, got an opportunity to work with some students. And after we worked with the students, I found that I really fit in with them a whole lot better than I do with adults. And that kind of gave me this aha moment where it's like, hey, if we really want to make a difference in the community, we need to plant seeds of change with the younger crowd because can adults need to learn to hold themselves accountable, but adults are in more control of themselves than youth are. The youth can't really control the situations that they have to grow up in or were born into, like the streets they got to walk down, the schools they got to go to, everything. And so that's why I say if we want to see seeds, if we want to plant seeds of change in the future, we got to start with the youth. And that's what made me change the direction of the foundation moving forward. And because of that, we're inside three local high schools in North County, San Diego: Alta Vista High School, MGM High School, and Innovation High School. And they're all alt ed schools, or yeah, alt ed schools, continuation schools. And what we do there is not only just live with the kids, we are giving them something they don't have access to. And a lot of that's going to be the coaching, the mentorship, and access to facilities. And tonight, my goal is to explain why the school districts should invest in community-based programs like ours, led by trained mentors with lived experience, because disconnected students need trust, structure, and consistent adults in their life. We, and so I'm going to cover the problems. I'm going to talk about what I think the causes are, and I'm going to give some insight what I think some of the solutions could be. First and foremost, the biggest problem is going to be attendance. That leads to the most disconnection. And according to the US Department of Education, chronic absenteeism means missing 10, at least 10% of school days in a year. This is big on a local level as well. In 2024 and 2025, reported through Live Well San Diego, more than 73,000 students were considered chronic absentees, meaning they're missing out on all kinds of opportunities to develop in school with their peers. When students are not connected and they don't show up, not only are they not getting the credits, but they're losing those opportunities. Another big issue is going to be an emotional issue. According to CDC, in 2023, 40% of students reported persistent sadness and hopelessness. Here at the foundation, we can understand having something, trying to give the kids something positive to look forward to. I myself grew up going to continuation school, and it was through mentors that had lived experience that looked like me, talked like me, walked like me, I was able to relate to on a different level. It was really hard for me to relate to the people that, for example, like a dare officer who told me to just say no, but couldn't give me the whys behind it. And I was really looking for the positive mentorship, not even just mentorship. I just wanted some leadership, and I just wanted some guidance from someone who's been there and done that and can relate to the way I was feeling. And most of the time, the way I was feeling was sad. So now we're going to take a look at why the problem keeps growing. Part of it is going to be structural. Schools are being asked to handle problems they cannot solve alone. Teachers are busy teaching, counselors and other administrative staff are overloaded, and that's why if given the opportunity, a foundation like ours can step in and help take on some of that load. And according to the Partnership for Student Success, schools have been looking for community partners like ours to help alleviate that load in general. And that's why not only just my foundation, other organizations like Garden 31, who teach kids how to plant and be self-sufficient and grow their own gardens, to not only learn how to tend to something else, but to learn how to tend to themselves could be super important to get them to develop different skills and give them something to look forward to, like I keep saying. The other cause is going to be attitude. Sometimes students are guarded. Sometimes they're embarrassed because they're going to continuation schools and are being labeled by others in the community as bad kids. Sometimes, but really sometimes they just have things going on that people just don't understand, like what's going on at home. And they need someone to relate to. And that's where the lived experience mentors again can step in. According to the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency of Prevention, a credible messenger and lived experience mentor can not only build trust through shared experience, but can also deliver accountability. To put it simply, some students just listen different when an adult has been through a similar struggle. Third, my solution is going to be more community partnership. According to the California Department of Education, community schools are built around partnerships between schools, community agencies, and local government. We already see this kind of support, like I mentioned. Organizations like Garden 31, the Heavy Breathing Foundation, Community Wraparound, where they actually bring in lived experience mentors to share their testimony about what it's like to not necessarily to make the right decisions, or where certain decisions can lead you in life in a negative way. The solution, again, is investing in more programs like ours. Of course, we need to build credibility, background checks, setting boundaries, tracking attendance, and communicating with clear communication with staff about goals. But in all seriousness, this should be taken seriously. And we have seen firsthand the positive benefit of this. All students who have gone through our program have a 100% graduation rate, whether it's graduating from high school into the next step, whether it's college or going into the career field, or if it's just leveling up from one grade to another. So please consider believing in organizations like Heavy Breathing.